Welcome to the Know Before You Go Travel Show, where we share all the latest travel tips, tricks, and insights to make your next vacation the best one yet. So sit back, relax, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the show with Penyak Travel's George Penyak and our senior travel consultant, Janet Penyak.
What is up, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back to another edition of the Know Before You Go Travel Show, and we've got a show for you today.
You say that every time.
And we've got
and I say that every time.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is redundant.
Yeah.
But we have a highly anticipated show.
Yes,
today.
we've actually had a lot of questions and DMs regarding our most recent trip. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So yeah, it's pretty highly anticipated.
Yeah, everyone, I feel like it's going to be a good one. We've got a show. We had so much fun at Unico. We're going to jump right into that. But before we jump into Unico 2087 in Cancun, want to say, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you're not a subscriber, we would love a subscribe. That would be awesome. We're trying to get our subscribers up. We have a couple shout-outs here since our last show. So shout out to Bobby Jones. He gave us a new 5-star review on Apple. Thank you much, Bobby. Thank you so much. He hit us up while we were at Unico, actually. So thank you so much. We also had a quote request come in from Wes and Rachel. They're doing a honeymoon. Thank you, Wes and Rachel. They're from the podcast. We love you guys. And then also Susan put in a quote request from Minneapolis. Thank you so much, Susan, for being a listener as well. So
yes,
getting a lot of love from everybody. We got love for you back. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
And if you hear anything on this podcast on Unico, especially on this show, that you want more information about, feel free to hit us up. We'll give you information. Or if you like a quote, we can do that too. There's multiple ways to get a hold of us. You want to go through them? I
was going to say, you can go to our website, penyaktravel.com, put in a quote request there, and it comes directly to my email. Or you can slide into our DMs, as George likes to say. We're on Facebook and Instagram.
Slide in them.
Or feel free to call us at 1-800-674-3278. Or you can just send me an email as well, and that's Janet@penyaktravel.com.
And it comes right to Jay.
Yes.
Comes right to you. Anyways, thank you guys so much. By the way, half the year's over.
Yep, it is July 1st.
It's over. Half the year's gone. This is crazy.
I think that's good. Let's just
let's get through 2021.
Let's just get through the second half and get to 2021, so things might go a little bit back to normal. But we just got back from Unico 2087. Unico. I heard it pronounced
Unico,
both ways.
Unico. Yeah, I don't know. But it was a much-needed vacation.
It was a much-needed vacation. So that resort, you're going to fly into Cancun. It's about an hour south of Cancun in Riviera Maya, kind of near the Acamal and Tulum area.
Yes, and by the way, if you have any questions on what it was like traveling there with COVID, because we just got back, just go scroll down to our very most recent episode, and we go through our last podcast. We do the whole nine. What is it like traveling with COVID? So we're mostly gonna cover just the resort today and what our experience was like there. But if you're wondering, just go back of what's it like traveling with COVID. Just go back.
Yes. Yep. One episode before. So, our first impressions of, just flying in general, there were lots of other safety precautions in place, because of COVID. And then that started too as soon as we got to the resort. So they fogged the outside of our entire transfer van and with sanitizer. And then when we got out, they were so happy to see people arriving at their resort, I must say.
Were. The resort was probably, when we got there, we arrived on, what day of the week was it?
It was a Sunday.
We arrived on a Sunday, and it was probably only 15% capacity.
Yes.
Now, Mexico right now has a limit of 30% max capacity. So that was the max that they could have. They were probably at about 15%, which is extremely low. I don't think we've ever been to a resort with that low capacity.
No, I've never been to a resort where it was that little amount of people. So they were very, very happy to see us. As soon as we stepped out of the van, they took our temperatures. They made us sanitize our hands. And we stepped onto sanitation mats to sanitize our shoes. So right off the bat, we were like, okay, wow, this is definitely, it's different, but it's a great experience because it just, makes you feel good, makes you feel like they're taking those extra precautions.
Yeah, and I think not many people have traveled outside of the U.S., especially during COVID, but we didn't know what to expect. It's a different country. We're like, hey, are they as sensitive as we are? Are they taking the proper precautions? We didn't know what to expect. But man, were we pleasantly surprised with how much effort they put into the safety of the guests, how clean everything was. And we had never seen the sanitation mats. Walking on those sanitation mats was like that extra step that made me feel really good because
you bring so much nasty junk in on your shoes. I mean, like, you just have no idea, you know?
Yeah, and you get so mad at me if I walk into the house with my shoes on.
Yes, I do.
And I've been schlacked so many times by you, I don't do it anymore. You've corrected my bad behavior.
That's good.
Because I don't want to bring in anything, but you used to be like, babe, take your shoes off.
Yes.
What are you doing? I'm like,
well,
okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
you bring in a lot of germs. So, and
know,
especially
you're right.
now, I'm like extra sensitive about it.
It was one of my bad habits.
Yes, but first impressions.
Broke hubby's bad habits.
Here we go, getting off on a tangent. Okay, first impressions though, the lobby is so beautiful. It's probably one of the prettiest lobbies out of any resort that I've ever been to, outside of the Cape in Cabo.
Yeah, the Cape had a good one. Also, some of the Secrets properties have some really good resorts, open air and stuff.
Yeah,
it's not
they
open
do.
air,
right?
But it has this big fountain in the middle and huge, beautiful Mexican chandeliers coming down.
Yeah.
Everyone had masks on. We never saw anyone's mouth or nose. It was we thought eventually we might see. Nope, they had masks on the whole time, which was really good. And first impressions were it was beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yes.
It's a little bit smaller. It's not quite a huge resort. Maybe classified as a medium-sized resort. What would you say?
Well, it's 448 rooms.
God, it seems so small, though.
Well, I think maybe that's because not that many people were there.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
But the lobby was nice. As soon as you get in, you sit down and you're greeted by your host.
Yes.
And we didn't know much about having a host. It felt kind of like a personal concierge, if you will, a dedicated person that you could text while you're on property.
Yes.
Set your dining reservations, excursions, things like that. But he was always there for you. He's like a text or phone call away. Very friendly. We got greeted by him immediately, and then we had some welcoming drinks, which was really nice.
Yeah, we had some welcoming drinks. Then they also ask you to pick the scent that you want for your room because they're very into like aromatherapy there. And so they give you 4 different scents to choose from. Then they'll put that in your room so you can have that. And
it's like an oil or something, right? That it burns.
Yes. Then
it's
you
something.
plug in that little
like
diffuser. Yeah, but it smelled really good.
It did. It smelled good. It smelled really good.
Yeah. But, this resort is known for their mixology. So all the bars that we went to, they all had, great drink menus, and it's different than what you normally see at a lot of all-inclusive resorts, like a Dirty Banana. They had things like a habanero margarita and just really different things.
Yeah, it was really different, and I feel like this more so than the majority of resorts we've been to embrace the culture.
Yeah, and that's what
culture.
they are about at that resort is embracing the local culture there, and they kind of infuse that into all aspects of the resort.
Yeah, the food, the drinks, the architecture, the room. I mean, everything just felt like you're getting a very authentic experience. It was a very non-commercialized experience, which I really enjoyed. Because when you go to Mexico, you want to experience a little bit of that, and sometimes it's hard to get at all properties.
Yes.
I mean, overall, extremely impressed by this property.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, were we blown away.
It's definitely now in it's in my top few resorts.
Yeah,
I don't know quite where to rank it. I feel like
it's hard when you get up there.
Yeah, and we didn't get the absolute full experience because of COVID. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but just in terms of, what was available as entertainment and restaurants and bars that were open. So we'll kind of talk about that. But
yeah, they operate in limited capacity.
Right. So I feel like we have to go back once everything is,
we'll go back
to normal. Yes. And then we can, get the true experience. But even the experience that we had, with things being limited and closed, it was amazing.
Oh, we have clients there right now, actually.
Yes, we do.
Shout out
Karen and Bill.
Shout out Karen and Bill. They went for 10 nights. I'm super jealous.
Yeah, they were supposed to go to Sandals Grenada for their honeymoon. And that didn't happen because Grenada's closed. Their wedding didn't happen. That's being pushed off. So since they had the time off, they said, well, let's just go here since that's the only thing open. So they booked it 2 weeks ago.
And I'm looking at their pictures on Instagram. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go back so bad.
I know.
But yeah, it was first impressions really, really strong.
Yes.
I mean, it came in swinging heavy on us. Like, this is incredible. We were wowed.
Yes, it definitely has a wow factor. Another cool thing that I like that's just kind of an extra personal touch is they give you straw hats. And they're in your room when you check in. And they actually have a guy that will paint them for you. So you can have something put on there.
Yeah, you can put like your honeymoon date or something or a drawing.
Right, your name, whatever you want. But there's a guy there and he paints them like every other day.
Yeah, and it was really cool. And that was a pleasant surprise. You get to keep the hats with you. It's like a fedora for the guys, and then the women get like kind of a more...
Like the sun straw hat.
Like a sun straw hat. And they're 2 straw hats, and everyone's wearing them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is cool. It's like a nice little added touch that... Just little added touches they did just kind of really enhanced the experience. That was one of them. Another pleasant surprise, I guess you should say, that was very unexpected.
Yes. No, I like that a lot. So the room that we had at this resort, there's a couple of different room categories, but, just to kind of sum it up, they have swim up rooms and they have ocean view rooms, and both of those are going to be the same price, and they are your lead-in room categories. And then from there, they have the ocean front, and then they have suites. And so we went with a swim up room.
Yep. And
so right there, like when you go into the room, out on your patio, there's 2 hammocks there and a couch, an outdoor sofa, which is really nice. And then the pool, there's steps that goes right down into the pool. Now, it doesn't go into the main pool.
It's like a little side pool that is shared with the other suites or other rooms on the first floor. So it's probably 8 rooms sharing this, and not everyone uses them at once. So we were out there, and they're very private. You have like concrete walls.
Yeah, you have big concrete walls on both sides, so that it is very private.
So you can kind of sit out and lay out, and then if you want to get into the deep end, then you can kind of get into this area where it's a long stretched pool, and you see the other rooms.
Yes,
but it's very cool. Like, I'm glad we had that room.
Oh, I absolutely loved it.
And the room also had like the concrete walls. It kind of had this really local Mexican feel to it. The architecture in the room, the bed was super comfortable.
Yes.
We slept like babies.
Oh, yeah. The bed was amazing.
I mean, we slept like 10 hours.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because our dog Jake gets us up early, like super early every morning, and we didn't have
every
him.
single morning.
We didn't have Jake in the room, so it was like, oh my gosh, we can sleep until we slept like 9-10 hours every single night, truly recharged on this vacation.
No, absolutely. And another thing I want to say about the room, so if you're on the bottom floor in the swim up rooms, then you have a shower in your room, and if you have the ocean view rooms, you'll have the shower, but then you also have a tub on your balcony. And a lot of sandals resorts do that as well, and I just want to make one distinction. There's not curtains that you can close to make it private. That's one difference there.
Yeah, we did notice that. So on the balconies, if you want to use that tub, I mean, people use them. They're in their bathing suits or whatever, but it's not like
you can't get
private.
You can't get naked and go in the tub unless you want to show everyody else.
I mean, let's be real. That's why the curtains are there. Let's be real. That's why the curtains are there. There are no curtains on these balconies, but that's okay. Feel free to show all of Mexico your glory.
There you go. If that's what you want to do.
Whatever you want to do. This is your vacation.
Yeah. So a couple of things I want to note.
Try it one day.
No, let's not.
I'm just kidding.
A couple of things I want to note is how the resort is laid out. So the room that we were in was in building 5, and that was the perfect room location because we were so close to the main lobby bar, all the restaurants, and then, it's like a 2-minute walk to the pool. So I really loved the location of that room.
Yeah, that is a big deal. So there's 2 buildings that I would recommend, that we would probably recommend if you don't want to have these long walks everywhere, if you're going to book a swim out room.
If you're going to book a swim out or an ocean
5,
view.
right?
Yeah, I would look at or request buildings 4 or 5.
And it was perfect because we were literally one of the first rooms on the very end that was central to everything, and it was still very quiet.
Yes.
Because before you could enter into the restaurant area, they had sliding glass doors.
Yeah.
So we never really had a lot of traffic going by our room. It was never loud, and everything was a short walk away. Even that little cafe, they have a coffee shop there that everything's included.
That was literally right there.
Yeah.
So I think
we could wake up, and if we didn't get breakfast ordered to the room, we could just go grab a coffee.
Yes. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend buildings 4 or 5. The excellent locations.
Yeah. Now, if you want the ocean view, you probably, because these swim out rooms, at least the ones we were in that were more central, they were further away from the beach. So It is a longer walk to the beach if you're a beach person. And if you want a view of the ocean, you probably want to go for a higher floor, right?
Yes. So I believe there was 6 floors at
5 or 6.
resort. Yeah, it was 5 or 6. And
I got a picture.
They would consider the second floor an ocean view. So I would just, if you do have an ocean view, request a higher floor so you have a much better view, because just because it says ocean view does not mean that you're going to be able to see the ocean super clearly right in front of you. It just means that in some way, shape, or form, you can
see the water.
Yeah, turn your neck off your balcony and see the water. So if you truly want to be right on the ocean, then do an ocean front, because you'll have a front-facing ocean view room.
Exactly, yeah. So know before you go travel tip when booking this. And again, or just give us a call and we can book it for you. We're free service. Sorry, I got to get a little plug in there.
Yes.
We are free service, so if you want more questions, hit us up on that. But yeah, very well laid out. And I can see certain rooms, like we could see certain buildings off in the distance, and they were very far from things.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that could be like a really long walk. But us, I just felt like it kind of helped our experience because we were just right there.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
was so nice.
Yeah, and if you want to be near one of the other restaurants, the 2087 restaurant that has breakfast, then I would request maybe like building 7, because sometimes people just like to literally roll right out of bed and go right to breakfast and not have to go very far. So that building is going to be closer to the breakfast and lunch areas and the beach, and a little bit closer to the swim up pool bar.
Yeah, and you can get food brought to your room, so the 24-hour service was great. We did try it. We did it for breakfast one morning, and they came early. I mean, they came super
right
early,
on time,
literally right on time.
The dot.
We could not believe it. I was golfing that morning, and we had to get up. Our transfer was like 7 o'clock.
We'll talk more about that.
Yeah, the transfer was interesting, but the food, we were like, okay, let's call and get room service set up, and super early. And we said, can you have it at 6:15? And literally they said, yeah. And we're like, okay, we'll see if it's right on the dot. It was literally right on the dot.
Yeah, it was right on the money.
Impressed.
Yep. Another cool thing about this resort is the snack bar that's in your room. So a lot of all-inclusive resorts don't have things like this, but they had bags of chips in the room and Snicker bars and like crackers and peanuts. So they had little things that you could munch on in the room. So I thought that was really interesting. And then
they restocked them if you used them.
Yep, and they restocked it every single day. And then the mini bar in your room, one little disappointing thing. I mean, I guess it's really not that big of a deal, but it's only beer
and soda
and water in your room. And so, at a lot of other resorts, you can have either liquor or wine in your room, and that is not an option there.
Yeah, usually we've seen beer and wine or beer, wine, and liquor. We've never seen just beer.
Yeah.
Usually you can get some wine.
Well, no, we
too.
have, but
we have?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think maybe one of the secrets we went to was just beer. But they had wine glasses in the room, which was interesting.
I know, so
but you couldn't get wine.
Right, we asked them if they would bring a bottle of wine, and they said, no, you can go to the wine shop and buy it.
House wine was really good, by the way.
Yeah, but the house
the wine that was
good.
Included in the all-you-can-drink was fabulous. It was Chilean Cab.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Like $20 a bottle, it looked like when I Vivino'd it. I was like, oh, let me check this out.
Okay, you're getting off topic here.
I know, I'm just, I'm a wine guy.
No, they definitely did have some great wine. So, moving on to talking about the pools and the beach and kind of what you can expect. If you're a beach lover and you like to spend a lot of your time, or the majority of your time in the ocean, this might not be the best resort for you.
It's a smaller beach.
It's a smaller beach, and it's
kind of in a bay.
Right, and it's a little rocky.
You have the $1 million view, though. So
yes.
the bay is very wide. You don't really see like the outskirts of the bay. At least is how it looked. And the water was pretty. Beautiful water.
Yes.
It's just a lot of seashells. I guess the bay washes in a lot of things.
Yeah.
The beach wasn't very, I guess you call it deep.
Right.
You probably had about 20 yards of deep beach, where we've been to other resorts like Secrets Cap Cana, and that beach is like 50 to 60 yards deep.
Right.
This was just a not as deep or thinner beach, if you will.
And then it's just the water right there is kind of, it's got like big rocks right off the beach.
There are some rocks. Yeah, they're in the water. But if you go over to before you go, if you are a beach person, you do want to enjoy the beach there, we got to find the room number or the building number. That building off to the far left of the property, that beach is much smoother.
Yeah, so that's going to be like building 1.
Building 1. If you are an absolute beach lover, that side of the property has a much better beach.
Yes.
The right side, there just is a little more rocks that are already in the water. And people are getting in the water still and walking over it. And the water is blue. It's beautiful.
Yes.
So, but it's just more of I would call it more of a pool resort than it is a beach resort.
Yes, yeah. And their pools were fabulous, by the way. So they had one of them was closed. The quiet pool, well, it wasn't closed, but they did not have any servers or bartenders going around. But they do have a quiet pool with a swim up bar, which I really like because a lot of quiet pools at other resorts don't have swim up bars in them. So I thought that was great.
That was a nice touch. I'm disappointed we couldn't try them. But.
Yes. And then the main pool, they have a very nice swim up bar. It was closed during our stay, but they had servers, constantly going around. But, lots of lounge chairs and places around the pool that, look like it would be plenty, whenever the resort's completely full. So
absolutely. And they kind of had two main pools and then the quiet pool.
Yep.
The pool that didn't have a swim-up bar. There were two pools with a swim-up bar, one without. The one without was like really chill. No one really hung out at it. And it's right next to the outdoor restaurant.
Yes.
We spent most of our time in, I guess you can call it the main pool that did have a swim-up bar. That pool was open, I guess you can call it, but the swim-up bar wasn't.
Right.
But they had like volleyball activities, things to do during the day. They had volleyball every day.
Water aerobics, which is really cool because they actually had like the water. Like bicycles?
Yeah, they water bicycles that they put in the water.
That they put in the pool.
And stuff.
Yeah, and you do your water aerobics. So that was really neat. So
and the service around the pool was great.
It was amazing service around the pool. Shout out to our amigo Rodrigo.
Mi amigo Rodrigo. Rodrigo was fabulous.
He was absolutely amazing. When we told him that it was our last day and that we were going to be leaving the next day, he said that he had a room in his house and he said it would be a different view but same service.
I was like, I'll take it, man, because he was great. So we did sit in his section
every single
day. And by the way, this resort does accept tips.
Yes.
And so we took care of him at the end. And
we took care of him at the end of every day, which I highly recommend because then you're just going to get that much better service. I mean, he would bring us at lunchtime chips, guacamole, salsa without even asking. And then you refill our drinks without even asking.
Yeah, like he would see... We'd
buckets of water without even asking.
Yeah, he'd bring up, like, as soon as we sit down at a pool chair, someone would come by and put the umbrella up for us.
Which is a really nice touch.
Just a nice touch. And then all of a sudden, he would come by with two bottles of water on a bucket of ice.
Yep.
Plop it right down. What would you guys like to drink today? We get 2 margaritas, typically.
Yep.
And then he'd bring us food menus for lunch, and he would bring us our lunch. And the food at lunch was great too. We had tacos, pizza, wood-fired pizza.
Pretty much every single day, we just ate lunch at our pool chairs, and that was great.
And just lounged, and just chilled, and it was really cool. And yeah, Rodrigo was great. And so we tipped him. People ask a lot, what do you tip?
Right.
So we'll tell you what we did. Like, you were closer to it than me. But
yeah, we tipped about...
We picked up Rodrigo $15 a day, $20
a day. Yeah. I mean,
depending on how many drinks we ordered.
Yeah, depending on, what time we got to the pool, that sort of thing.
Did we have 5 drinks each or 3 drinks each?
Yeah. So it was roughly about $15. And one really cool thing, if you have the swim up room, and I don't know if they do this when the resort is at full capacity, but we, would tell him, hey, Rodrigo, we're going back to our room. We're the second one from the left in that building right there. Will you bring us another round in like 30 minutes? And then sure enough, he would just come walking over and we would get in our little swim up pool and he would hand off the drinks to us. So, I mean, it was so just nice. Like the best service I think I've probably ever had at a resort.
Yeah, it was like having like a private like server come by. It was so nice.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to compare it to Sandals, we've had some phenomenal butlers, but you can't compare butlers to this.
It's different. Yeah,
it's different. We're talking. This is your standard resort service. It was fabulous.
Yes, yeah, and he was just great. So I would highly recommend sitting in Rodrigo's section. I'm sure the others around there are just as great too. But Rodrigo runs the right side of the pool,
close to the swim up bar.
Closest to the swim up bar.
And he's awesome, man. He was cool.
He's definitely great. So, just talking about the food, when we were just mentioning like how great all the lunches were, the food at this resort was amazing.
Yeah, and I know we're speaking very highly of this resort, but we really were that impressed. Like we have been, I don't know, a zillion resorts. Like I can't even keep count of how many all-inclusive resorts we've been to. This food quality absolutely blew me away.
It's some of the best we've had, yeah.
And one of the things that I've always liked to see at all-inclusive properties is when you go into the restaurant, that I like to see that each restaurant has its own architecture and feel.
Yep.
So if you go to an Italian restaurant, you're going to get an Italian architecture feel. Mexican restaurant, Mexican architectural menu, food, quality, whole nine. But what I really liked is they had a bar that was unique to each restaurant. So, like, let's just say your table wasn't quite ready when you showed up. You could go grab a drink at the bar, which not hardly any all-inclusives have.
Right, which the bars were closed. I mean, they had a bartender
reasons.
there, yes, but you could not sit at the bar right now. But, yes, when it's operating under normal circumstances, then you can do that, which is really cool.
And, and I judge, if you say you've got sushi at an all-inclusive, I'm going to try it. And I will judge it, and I will be very critical because sushi is really hard to pull off, especially at all-inclusive because, it's all-inclusive sushi. Sometimes you can get some sushi that's not what you would expect at a sushi restaurant here in the States.
Right.
The sushi quality there was unbelievable. It was just like anything you'd get here in the States at a high-end sushi place. I couldn't believe the quality of the rolls, the nigiri, the sashimi. Everything was fabulous. Yeah,
when they put down the sushi plate in front of George the second night we were there, and it was our first time at that restaurant.
I couldn't believe
Murrah
it.
House. Yeah, it was, you were like, I cannot even believe this.
Yeah, so if you want to see, so we also have our journey documented on our Instagram page. If you go to Penyak Travel's Instagram homepage, you'll see Unico there as one of our saved stories. You can check out the whole thing. And I think I Instagrammed the food coming in. And it was like holy sushi. It was incredible.
Yeah. So they have 4 main restaurants that are going to be open for dinner. And so it's Italian and Mexican and then the Asian and then there's the 2087.
What was your favorite one?
My favorite restaurant was the Murrah House. It was the Asian.
I think so too. I'm agree. Yeah, it was. The Asian was my favorite, and 2087 for breakfast.
Yes, 2087 for breakfast was amazing. And, right now, usually that is a buffet. Right now, it's a la carte due to COVID, and I would assume it'll probably be like that for the foreseeable future. But one thing I loved is they had so much Mexican influence in their breakfast dishes.
Empanadas for breakfast.
Yeah, so cheese empanadas, which I had pretty much every day. Sweetbread, and even like the eggs, you could order them Mexican style, and they would, have onions and peppers in them. And then they also had my personal Mexican favorite, which is the chilaquiles. And basically it's just like a bunch of like baked Tostito chips with some red and green sauce and some cheese and onions, and it's so freaking good.
It's like lunch. Like when you eat that for breakfast, you would order that. I'm like, that's lunch food. I can't eat that.
Oh, it's so good. I don't care.
I know, but for me,
that's what they eat for breakfast.
I know, but I don't like it.
I'm trying to embrace the local culture.
I'll try it. I tried your chilaquiles and it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good. It was delicious for a lunch. Or maybe even like an appetizer.
And George would say that too about my cheese empanadas that I got every day.
Yeah, but I always got eggs and bacon. My favorite word in Spanish is eggs. It's huevos. Huevos.
Okay, that's enough.
I want 3 big eggs. Tres grandes huevos.
Okay, so breakfast was great. Okay.
I don't know why
I have no idea.
I am
either.
an idiot.
For lunch, like I said, pretty much every single day we just ate lunch by the pool.
Yeah, and you forgot to mention before you move on to lunch, breakfast, the freshly squeezed juice every morning.
Oh, yeah. One really cool thing is, they have some great freshly squeezed juices.
Variety of juices. They had grape juice, which was freshly squeezed.
Grapefruit juice, carrot juice, fresh squeezed orange juice.
And when you hear them say freshly squeezed, I think a lot of places market that, but this one actually was. It
really
had
was.
A jar, just a glass jar, and you can see almost the separation of pulp and stuff, and you can tell there was barely any little seeds in it, but it was so smooth.
Yes.
And you could just tell it was fresh. It really was.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Overly impressed by that.
Yeah, that was very good. Another cool thing, they only did this on the first day, but when we go on vacation, tropical places, I always start my day with a mimosa because, why not? You're on vacation. And the very first morning that we were there, they actually had a full cart. That was like a mimosa cart that
with
they
a Bloody
just kind
Mary bar,
and a Bloody Mary bar on it that they pulled around to all the tables and asked you, if you wanted anything. So that was a really nice touch. But they only did that the first day. I'm not sure why, but I would, just a little suggestion to them, I would do that every day because I think that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, they didn't have the cart going every day. It was just that one day. I don't know if it was like a brunch thing. I'm not really sure, but yeah, we got mimosas every day. I always got coffee.
Yep.
So my morning was bacon and eggs. That's what I like. And that had grapefruit juice, mimosa, and coffee. Black coffee.
Yep.
And the coffee was, I think, Mexican coffee. It was highly powerful.
Yes, it was very good.
You'll be wired.
Yes.
You'll be ready to go.
So for lunch, moving on to that, like I said, we usually ate at the pool, but then they do also have lunch inside of the 2087, and we never checked it out, but they apparently also had a sushi bar in there for lunch. And like I said, we didn't check it out, but that sounds good if you're a sushi lover.
Yeah, he kept telling me, our server always kept saying, hey, come back for lunch, we have a sushi bar, and I just never, we always stayed at the pool.
Yeah.
But one thing I did like about 2087 is they had an outdoor bar as well with outdoor tables and outdoor seating, a lot of outdoor seating. It was never really open because we didn't go for lunch, we'd always stay at the pool.
Right.
And they didn't keep it open like past 5 o'clock.
Right.
I think during normal circumstances, that place is open.
That bar is open until, I think, 10 or 11 p.m.
Yeah, and the bar's open.
It's called like Monkey 47 or something like that.
Yeah, and it's near the beach. You can actually hear the ocean waves crashing. I bet they would have some live music out there, and it would be really cool. So just disappointed that was closed, but it is what it is. I mean, they were operating on low numbers. So
yes, yeah. Now, for lunch variety, they had everything from tacos to different vegetarian options, burgers, hot dogs, wings, pizza, salads. I mean, you could pretty much get whatever you wanted. And then for dinner, the 3 main restaurants that were open while we were there were the Italian, the Mexican, and the Asian. And then they would have 2 open per night. So, you would have like the Italian and Mexican open one night, and then the Mexican and Asian the next, and then the Asian and Italian the next, that sort of thing. And yeah, our favorite was definitely the Asian.
Yep.
And little tip, inside of the Asian restaurant, they do have hibachi tables, but if you want to sit at the hibachi table, just make sure that you make a reservation specifically stating hibachi table. Otherwise, you'll be in the main restaurant
The
part.
standard seating, yeah. And they had a sushi bar that people typically can sit at as well, but that was also, again, shut down because of COVID. But you could see it. I got some video of it. By the way, we'll have an awesome video on our YouTube page of this property, and our Facebook page and IGTV as soon as we're done with it. It's about halfway done. It's looking good.
Yep. And then as far as the bars go, really there was all that was open while we were there was the main lobby bar, which is beautiful. And about every other night they had a DJ in there. Usually there is more entertainment, but due to COVID, that's what it is. But it's really cool. They had, different board games you could play, like checker and chess in there at the tables. And it was just kind of like the gathering spot every night for everyone.
Yeah, and it was really chill. The DJ would play nice music. We always got great service there. We always have some wine. The wine that's included was great. And they also, too, if you want upgraded wine or nicer wine, you could actually order. They had a really fabulous wine list.
Yes.
And they had a separate wine store where you could sample wine and buy wine for your meals if you want a higher-end wine. And we did that one meal when we were at the Italian restaurant. We bought the Mexican red.
Yes.
Mexico actually...
They have some pretty good wine.
Contrary to popular belief, they actually have good wine.
Yes.
So if you're a wine drinker, I would highly recommend trying the Mexican wine. Order one there. I think we paid $49 for a bottle.
Yeah.
Retailed probably, you get the markup on the property. The retail on that's probably like 23 to 27. We paid like $40 for it on property, or 39 or something like that we paid. And it's a smokier wine, but it's good.
Yeah,
it's
really
good.
It's
different.
Yes.
It's different.
Yeah. One also little know before you go tip, when you're at the Mexican restaurant and they will bring you salsa and guacamole before your meal.
Yeah, you automatically get this.
Yeah, it's automatically brought to your table. And in Mexico, crickets are a delicacy. They like to eat crickets there. So there are crickets in the guacamole.
Yeah, so just be prepared for that. We don't do that in America here, but they do in Mexico. And you know what? I partaked in the crickets.
Yes,
and
George
you freaked
ate
out.
it. Yeah, I think that's gross, but, to each its own.
If you're wondering what they taste like, it is like a dry, almost drier cracker. It's like a cracker. Like when you bite into it, it's dry, which is, I would rather have a dry cricket than a moist cricket,
Ugh,
right? And you were freaking
gross.
out. You don't like it. But yeah, there was like 3 crickets sitting on top of the guacamole. And yeah, they were good. I mean, they're very bland. There's no flavor to them. I tried to get you to eat one.
Yeah, that would never, ever happen.
You didn't want to eat one.
I
no.
don't even eat sushi or fish. So I'm definitely not eating a cricket.
No, yeah, that wasn't happening.
That was not going to happen. Yeah. So moving on to a couple of things that we did. So we enjoyed the spa one day, and that was fabulous.
couples massage was unbelievable.
Yes. And before your massage, you can enjoy the hydrotherapy session. So that's where, they put you go in, the sauna first.
You go into the sauna for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep. And then the steam room.
Then the steam room, they give you mud to put all over your body.
Yep.
And you go sit in the steam room. And by the way, girls and guys were separated.
I was going to say, they did
I
not
don't know if
let
that was
us
for
do this.
COVID. I can't, maybe for COVID, I don't know. But
no, because I think because yours was on like the guys' locker side,
okay,
and then
it was on the girls. Gotcha.
Yeah, so you can't do it together. But if you're there with some friends, you and your guy friends or your girlfriends can go, and do it together. But yeah. The steam room, and then they made you do a shower.
Yeah, the cold shower after the steam room for about 5 to 10 seconds. That's a quick little shower, but it kind of shocks your body. And then you get into the hot tub.
The hot tub, and then the cold tub to close your pores, which George, he did not do.
I chickened out on that last one. I was already free. I mean, I already did the cold shower. I was like, I'm not getting another cold shower. I'm fine. This is vacation. I'm not doing it. And we did. Now, the couples massage is not included. So it's not included. We have to, that was extra, and it was at 25% of their normal costs. So you got, it wasn't at your normal price. Yeah. So what do we pay for the couples massage? I can't remember. It was less than it normally is at most all-inclusives, I remember.
Yeah. So
you got the menu up, right?
Yeah. I'm looking at the menu right here. So we did a relaxing 50-minute massage, and that was, their normal price is $280 for that, and so you just paid 25% of that.
So I can't do math in my head. I'm still in vacation mode. So 280 times point.
It's about $70.
Yeah,
and then times that by 2, so it was $140 for the two of us, which for a couples massage is a very good price when traveling, because at a lot of other resorts, like you hear us talk a lot about Sandals and Secrets, those are generally going to run you $300 and up. So it's a great deal.
Yeah, it was a really good deal. And the doing the hydrotherapy and the steam room beforehand, that was really cool. A little different. Something I definitely don't do on a normal basis, but it was nice. Like, the steam room was like a little too much for me. I think you got to get used to that. I couldn't do the full 10 minutes in the steam room.
Yeah, I could only do 5 minutes, and then I had to get out of there. But, some other things that they do at the spa, lots of different facials. So, like, they have a 50-minute age-defying facial. It's $370, and then, again, you would just pay 25% of that. So that's roughly, like, $90 or something along those lines. Different body treatments, like a cocoa ritual rejuvenating treatment, marine salt treatment, and all of this stuff is right around like the $300 to $400, and then again you just pay the 25%.
Yeah, I highly recommend if you're going as a couple, if you're going with your significant other, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, what have you, do the couples massage. I mean, it's a reasonable enough price, and it's just like a very nice, relaxing addition to your trip. We always do them just because, I mean, we go to recharge. I think a lot of people work really hard, and yeah, you got to have that downtime, and that couples massage is just, it's really good.
Yes. Another great thing about this resort was the fitness center. I thought their fitness center was really nice. They had, lots of different free weights that you could use. They also had classes that you could do, just different than normal times, as you needed to make a reservation just to ensure that you could get in, because they only allowed 6 people into the fitness center.
Yeah, and they also had another sanitation mat leading into the fitness center, and they also had one leading into the spa, so you still had to walk through that. They also did hand sanitizer before every meal and before entering the spa and gym, and they also did temp checks at the spa and the gym as well. Just to be extra safe. It took like literally 5 extra seconds. It was no big deal.
Yeah, it was fine. So really enjoyed that. Now, as far as excursions and, things to do there. So that area of Mexico is really good. You have a lot of different things you can do. You can do cenotes. You can go to the ruins at Tulum. You're not that far from Xcaret Adventure Park. And we chose to do Rio Secreto. And basically, it's like an underground cave.
With water.
Yeah. And that is not a part of the tours that you can do with the resort for just a 25% service fee. So I think we paid, it was $109 a person. And that
Worth it.
It was so worth it. That was probably one of the coolest things that we've ever done.
Yeah, they put you in a wetsuit, and so you wear your bathing suit and a t-shirt, bring a change of clothes to just change into afterwards because you'll be a little wet. And it's about an hour-long tour of the cave. And this is like an underwater or underground cave system with fresh water in it that goes for about 6 miles. You don't do nearly the full 6 miles. You just get the tour of it. And this is newly founded. They just found this like in the last 10 years or so. It's very
about
new.
15 years ago. They found it in 2005.
And they're finding new things down there they've never seen before. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, and National Geographic has done a lot of work in there. So it was really cool.
We'll post some pictures. We did buy the picture. You can't bring your camera in there because they want you to buy the pictures. They have a professional photographer taking photos. But it's kind of cool because you're walking around with a hard hat on, and you get a flashlight, and your hard hat has a light on it. And because it's completely dark in there. I mean,
it's pitch black.
It is pitch black. If you don't have the lights,
and that water
you're in
is
trouble.
cold.
The water's cold. That's why you wear the wetsuit,
Right.
though. And there were times it was probably always averaged about knee deep, but there were times I actually had to swim.
Yeah.
But you have a life jacket too with a wetsuit. You have the life jacket as well, so you just kind of float and swim, and you just very different, very local, very different. Highly recommend doing that. You can do it in less than half a day. Right?
Yes.
We left at what, 9 a.m.?
Yeah, we left at 9:50 a.m. and we were back at the resort
By 1?
at like 1:30.
Yeah, and they have lunch. It includes lunch if you want lunch there,
Yeah.
or you can just eat back at the property. Food was a little better back at the property, but like the food at the
resort.
But the food at the excursion area.
Well, yeah, it was
Rio
just
Secreto, very, very authentic.
very authentic,
Super
local.
authentic.
Yeah, but it was neat. So one cool thing that I just thought this was really neat. But so the entrance to this place is literally right off the main highway. But then you go back deep into the jungle, like 3 or 4 miles.
That's pretty far back there.
It is so far back there.
They said they had jaguars and stuff. We're like,
yeah,
oh
because
my
we kept
gosh.
seeing all these signs for big cats. And
It was like warning big cats lurking
yeah,
around.
and so we
were like,
asked
what?
the guy, we were like, what kind of cats do you have out here? And he said jaguars. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, and you're back there. I mean, it was kind of like, oh.
Yeah, but they have
he was like, "Don't
cameras
worry."
like
Yeah.
all throughout the property, I guess. And the jaguars really have only been seen at night, but they come out and they've seen them on the cameras. And I was like, wow, that's a little unnerving.
Yeah, know before you go travel tip 2, for this area of Mexico, at least this time of year, if you go off property, bring mosquito spray. It was
Yes.
never bad on property, but if you're going to go off property, bring mosquito spray.
Yeah, the mosquitoes are, I mean, they're very bad.
Off property. Yeah, on property did a great job spraying. You hardly had no problems with it, but like we also golfed. That was another excursion we did. We golfed. So this resort's part of Hard Rock, right?
Yes, so the Hard Rock Riviera Maya is a sister resort. That's just the family part of it. And then they have a golf club. So it's about 35 minutes away from the resort.
Yeah, 25, 35 minutes. Yep.
Yep. And so we did do that one day. And
Our host set it up.
Our host set
got the
it
tea
up.
time and everything.
Just make sure when you say you want the first available tea time, they don't open until 8:30. So make sure that you don't have a transfer that picks you up at 7.
Yeah, they kind of messed our transfer. There was a little confusion on what time they should pick us up. I thought they were picking us up a little early, so this was when we left at 7. We had to have the room service come at 6:15. Regardless, though, one thing that really impressed me when we got to the Hard Rock golf resort is that all the food and drink was included as well.
Yeah, as a part of the all-inclusive. So that was really neat.
Oh, man, we had margaritas on the golf course. We had mimosas at the restaurant that was in the clubhouse, and it was all included. Every time I've played golf everywhere else, at all the resorts we've been to, if you leave and play golf, it's none of the drinks and foods included. You're paying for that out of pocket.
Yep.
But here, like, we got mimosas, and we were waiting. I got my credit card out, and they said, no, it's included. I said, oh, really? They said, yeah, everything's included. I was like, oh,
yeah, so
man,
that was really
is
neat.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was really neat. And
So highly recommend the golf. I think this is a great property for like obviously it's adults only, but if you're couples and friends and the guys like to golf, this is awesome. This is like a perfect, great value, and you get the golf with the service included in the golf.
yes. And so what you pay for as a part of that, so it is a part of the inclusions with the resort where all you have to do is pay 25%. So you pay 25% of the green fee, and then my rider fee, and then the cart rental and club rental. So all in all, it was about $150. But it was a beautiful course. And yeah, I would just you have to have bug spray when you go there. They actually sell it in the gift shop because the mosquitoes are so bad.
Yeah, just bring bug spray. And I had club rentals too. And so for $150 to have my green fees, also club rentals, and I had top of the line club rentals, M6s. They're fabulous. And then you got to ride as well. Wasn't that bad. I don't want to call it quite 75% off because that's what they advertise. I don't think it's 75% off. I think you're getting maybe
I mean,
half
you get
off.
75% of the green fee off, but that's about it.
Yeah. But for $150 and all that and all your drinks, when you factor in the drinks and food are included, it's no brainer.
Right.
Highly recommend trying out the golf if you're a golfer. It was great.
And then, as a part of the 25% off inclusions, a few other things that you can do is there's a dolphinarium nearby, so you can do that, and you only pay 25%. And they also have a cenotes tour, zip line, a snorkel tour. I think you can also, there's a tour that goes over to Isla Mujeres. So there's lots of different activities that are a part of the all-inclusive, except you just pay the 25%. So you're getting a really, really good value.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think again, I mean, this ranks up there very highly. I don't know where to put it again, to your point. Like, where do we rank this overall property or resort? Oh, man, it's up there. I mean, it's probably in my top 3.
It's in my top 3 to 5, I guess.
If you took take Mexico out of it, if you took just resort for resort, it's way up there.
Yes, absolutely.
And Mexico is great though too when you factor that in. But you see, it's hard to compare it to like a Grenada, because Grenada, you're getting the experience of like a small island and you're really secluded. Mexico's not quite as seclusive. It's Mexico.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't quite have the like exotic flair as, when you think of like St. Lucia or Grenada, that sort of thing.
But pound for pound resort, it's of the best that we've been to.
It really is. It's amazing. So one thing I want to touch on too about this resort is groups. So they do have a very large meeting space that could also be used as a ballroom. So if you do want to get married here, they have that as an option. And then
the meeting space could hold probably a few hundred people.
Yes, several hundred people. It was huge.
Beautiful. We toured it.
And then the one thing though is when you have a large group like that, a lot of times, when you're in a tropical place like this, you want your dinners or events to be outside. There's really only 2 places on the resort that could hold like a large group and they're pretty much the same. They're just in the courtyard, and one's on the right side and one's on the left side. So, if I think it would be good for like a group convention. I'm not so sure a really large wedding it would be the best option for, and because the beach is a lot smaller too, there wouldn't be any way that you could have a large beach wedding at this resort.
Yeah, and you wouldn't, if you have a large group and it's for a wedding, if you're trying to pull that off there, it wouldn't feel that private, I don't think, just because the buildings are some of the buildings are very close to the beach, and that's a good thing if you want the beach view, bad thing if you want a private event on the beach.
Right.
And the outdoor space for large groups is pretty limited.
Right.
So you can't pull. I wouldn't recommend it for a large group wedding.
No. But a convention,
small group wedding, or
yes.
a convention where you're having all your events inside, like a trade show, perfect.
Yes,
and then all
perfect.
Your food and drinks paid for.
Right.
Can't beat it.
So I think it's really good for that. But just a little note before you go, if that is something that you do is plan events, or if you're possibly thinking of a destination wedding, just a little tips on that for you.
And you got quotes for this, right?
Yes. So I actually pulled some quick.
What does all this beautiful stuff cost?
Yeah. So I pulled some quick quotes. Basically, in August, for 2 people, the prices are starting at $371 per night, not including any airfare. That's just your all-inclusive stay. So that's just under $200 a person per night, and you're getting your accommodations, your meals, and your drinks. So
and we're talking, they're known for their mixology. It is high-quality drinks.
Yes.
Like their mojitos, everything was just spot on.
Right. And, everything I've heard about this resort before going is definitely true. I always heard, it's a great resort. It's so fun. Like, it's going to be one of your top favorites. And it definitely is.
And we're always skeptical because we hear that about every all-inclusive. Then we show up and we're like, okay, it's nice, but it's not in the top.
Yeah.
We don't rank it in the top. This one ranks up there with the best of the
Yeah,
best.
I absolutely loved it.
Penyak travel seal of approval on this place.
Absolutely.
100.
So with Airfare, I also just priced it in August for 7 nights. And I did Airfare from Charlotte because we are based in the Carolinas. And so with nonstop flights from Charlotte for 7 nights with round trip transportation and cancel for any reason travel insurance,
So
which
you get the
kind
insurance.
of need that right now.
Yep. So this includes the insurance, and the insurance is extra. So if you're going to
Yes.
price check us on the website, you want the insurance.
Yeah, so it includes round trip nonstop flights from Charlotte, 7-night all-inclusive stay in either a swim up or an ocean view room, your round trip airport transportation in Cancun, and cancel for any reason insurance, $32, $34, $56.
That's a great
for
value.
7 nights. And that a lot of times you see resorts that they advertise themselves as 5-star and they're really not 5-star, but this one advertises themselves as 5-star, and I really do think they are.
Yeah, it had the 5-star plaque, so they actually
Right.
were certified 5-star, which I took a picture of. I'll include in the video. That's a fabulous value. And
Yes.
you will not, I'll say this, because it's hard to compare beaches and it's hard to compare a lot of things, but one thing that I know I can compare is food. You're not going to find better food at that price, at an all-inclusive.
No, I don't think you will at all. That is probably the best value out there.
I mean, there are restaurants there were better than some of the restaurants here that you pay for in the States and you pay out of pocket for.
Yes.
And it's at an all-inclusive. Their restaurants were better.
And one other quick note I want to say about their restaurants is they don't have that many restaurants, but the variety of choices that you have on the menu was really, really good. So it wasn't just like, you had like steak, chicken, and a few seafood and one veggie option. There was a wide variety of different dinners that you could choose from. So I really liked that.
Absolutely. And that's what made these restaurants feel so authentic, is like you really got great Italian food at the Italian place and it felt like you're in an Italian restaurant. And same thing with Mexican, and same thing with the Asian restaurant. They really did a great job having a huge menu. Most all-inclusives we go to, the menu's one page. Like
Right.
You get like a short menu and there's like a handful of things to choose from entrees and appetizers and salads. Every menu is a book. Like the menu
Yeah, it was
variety.
several pages.
The menu variety was incredible per restaurant. It was unbelievable.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So overall, I definitely think you need to put this on your list. It is a must-visit resort.
Oh my gosh,
I absolutely loved
100%. 100% agree. Yeah, and by the way, if you want any more information, if you have a specific question, slide in our DMs, hit us up, request a quote from us, penyaktravel.com. Tell us what you're looking for, dates, airports. We can send you a customized quote that's just for you. No fees. We're a zero-fee agency.
I was gonna say, there is no extra charge to book through us, and we can do price matching if you need it. And I don't know that we mentioned this earlier, but this resort is adults only.
Adults only, yeah, no kids, which is great. So
Yes.
yeah, we had such a good time. We have clients there right now. We have more clients going, and
Yes.
and we can't thank you guys. All of our clients that have hit us up that are also listeners of the podcast. It's so awesome to have the Penyak Travel fam growing. And by the way, we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary of the Know Before You Go Travel show.
That's crazy.
Coming up on 2 years. Actually, July 4th, I think, will be 2 years since we last when we did our first episode.
Never thought we'd be still sitting here today.
We're going to do a fun episode in celebration of our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
I'm going to think of something cool. We're going to come up with something pretty good to do.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, if you want more information, hit us up. Now we got to do question
I
of
was
the
going to
day.
say, what's your question of the
I
day?
got a good one for you.
Okay.
Now this is not one that was submitted from a listener, but if you have one, send it to us. But if you had to sing a song at karaoke night, what's your go-to song? What's your go-to?
What is my go-to?
No, you would never sing. I would. You've seen me do it. I've done it a lot.
I actually was forced to sing karaoke one time
I do remember that.
in Vegas on Fremont Street, which was horrifying. But I
wouldn't care what anyone thinks. I would just.
I mean, most everybody there.
What'd you sing? Whitney
didn't know
Houston?
they were there. No, we sang some.
Mariah Carey?
No, we had to sing some song from like the 70s, like Earth, Wind, Fire. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. Every time I hear this song, I get nightmares. I don't know. Maybe like a Britney Spears song, because since I can't really sing.
Those are vocals though, so you're going pretty hardcore.
Yeah, she. I mean, I guess kind of.
Hit me, baby, one more
Okay,
time.
so I don't know. Maybe something like that, or like a Bob Marley song or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Bob Marley would be more your go-to.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be my go-to.
My go-to is Jimmy Buffett. He doesn't really sing. He just kind of talks.
Yeah. So you could do that.
Cheeseburger in paradise. Like
Okay.
by the way, that's a know before your travel tip. If you're at karaoke at one of these resorts and someone calls you up there to do it, go Jimmy Buffett. It's easy. You're not even singing.
Okay.
You're just talking. But I've done all sorts of. I've done Kanye West through The Wire.
Yeah.
I can spit a little rap. I don't know. It's crazy. But that's probably what I do. I probably do a little Jimmy Buffett.
If I could sing, I would sing Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, but I couldn't even get close to sounding like her. So.
Oh, or my go-to is Piano Man, and that gets the crowd going
yeah.
too. See, I like to like analyze the crowd, and if it's an older crowd and it's that sing us a song.
Okay, we don't need you.
Man.
Yeah, we don't need you on the mic doing that right now.
A lot of people are hitting pause and stop right now on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We're almost done.
Well, that's a show, guys.
Yes.
Thank
Hope
you
you
guys.
enjoyed it. If you want any more information, again, just hit us up, slide into our DMs. You can go to our website, penyaktravel.com, and right there on the homepage, there's a request a quote button, or feel free to give us a call, 1-800-674-3278.
And that's a show, guys. We will see you next time. Have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Be easy on the fireworks. Enjoy great times with
Yeah,
friends.
don't be
and
Terry
families.
on the fireworks.
Yeah, Terry. That's a great video. That's hilarious.
That
Back
video
it
is
up,
great.
Terry. All right.
Yeah, all
Love
right.
you guys.